Reluctant Entrepreneur Tarot. I'm Diane Ideas, Master Certified Coach, and this video takes you behind the scenes for card one, Serial Entrepreneur. So as we look at the Serial Entrepreneur card, we have the compass, that direction, that drive forward, that ability to know where to go. You also see the arrows which point towards the east. So the idea of the sun rising in the east and the repetition of that, the serial, the success over and over again. The compass is overlaid on a path, and this path is established. So this is a paved path as opposed to the rocky path in the entrepreneur card that goes off the cliff. And then the trees also indicate wisdom, foundation, growth, continuity. And so looking back to the entrepreneur card in this case matched with the fool is the idea that the fool's journey goes off of a cliff. So it's a risk, there's challenge there, not sure where it's going to go. The first card that the fool, or in this case, the entrepreneur, encounters is the magician, to show that not only is it possible, but there's a magic to it, there's a mastery to it, and it's possible to be successful. And aligned with that success, we can look backwards to the end of the journey, which is the world culmination success. So again, you see the path is established. The one lettering is from a $1 bill, like a business that hangs their first dollar on the wall. You see the bridge, there's lights zooming across the bridge. So the establishment of the path as you go through the deck, going from the rocks of the entrepreneur off the cliff to the paved of the serial entrepreneur, and then on through the major arcana till eventually coming to success. So illustrating this as a path, because usually the focus is just on how the path moves forward, that the serial entrepreneur, which in this case is the magician, is followed by the high priestess, which in this deck is intuition. And you can look at the cards that way in a linear fashion, and there's meaning to that linear fashion. But at the same time, looking back and seeing actually it's a cycle, and if successful, you're more likely as a reluctant entrepreneur to face that entrepreneur card again, and then also look into the serial entrepreneur and continue to do so. So as we dig deeper into this card, you have to believe it before you see it. So to an entrepreneur, and especially a reluctant entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur can seem like magic. How do they do it? How do they not only opt into that level of risk and financial challenge and ambiguity and innovation, but to do it more than once? And this card is paired with the magician. So in the major arcana, the magician is the first stop along the fool's journey. And we see with the magician a mastery of all of the elements. There's an idea that it's kind of like the divine path, the divine conduit. We have the magician pointing up to the sky and then down to the ground. So making those things real. The idea of the infinity symbol. This is something where it's continuity, infinity. And then the elements of the minor arcana. So the coin, the cup, the sword, and the wand are all on that table. And we see that kind of abundance and growth. And so in WTF is Tarot. She says, when we experience the magician, the risk of the fool has paid off. We took the leap and landed on solid ground, and now it's time to take action. So, as we think about the fool's journey or the entrepreneurial journey, taking that first step and seeing what is possible, even if it feels like magic, even if it doesn't feel possible, is the progress and the first step on the journey. So some questions to consider for the serial entrepreneur. What does a serial entrepreneur embody that does not seem feasible or possible? If you had everything you needed to be successful, what would you achieve and why? If you knew you could both survive and thrive in your life as an entrepreneur, how would that impact you and your business? And if at the end of the road you chose to travel it again, what would you need to make that choice? If you'd like to listen more, we have episode 15 of season 4 with Barry Warden talking about his various entrepreneurial adventures at different stages of his life. And Barry was one of the people in my network, in my community, that I'm so thankful for, because when I was at the height of reluctance and fear and not knowing what to do or what was possible, being with someone who had that entrepreneurial spirit and was excited about what I was doing and was able to see the benefits and give ideas, having that infusion of the serial entrepreneur, especially when you're on the entrepreneurial journey, is so important. It can feel like magic. The song associated with this is Still by Dr. Dre. And this is actually, it's a very recognizable song. You've likely heard the beats, even if you're not a rap fan. And as you think about Dre and then also Snoop Dogg, the idea that they've continued to innovate, they've continued to be successful, they've gone beyond creating music to producing to other entrepreneurial ventures and successful endeavors, I should say, though in this case, maybe adventures. And this song is actually penned by Jay-Z, who has his own, own established, as we think about serial entrepreneur and people that are continuously successful. So lyrics in this, it talks about still effing with you, still waters run deep. They want to know if I still got it. They say raps change. They want to know how I feel about it. I'm, still representing for the gangsters all across the world. Even when I'm close to defeat, I rose to my feet. My life's a soundtrack I wrote to the beat. And the line that I associate the most with the serial entrepreneur, it's not a fluke, it's been tried on the truth. So the idea of that establishment. And then later in the song, it says, try to be the king, but the ace is back. And so what's interesting is we think about kings, Dre, Snoop, Jay-Z are definitely could be associated with kings of rap, if that was a term that people are thinking of. But with the idea of the ace, we have a different versatility. You have something higher than king, but it's also the beginning of the journey. And it's card one, which also matches the magician and the serial entrepreneur, which is paired with card one. So if you'd like to learn more, the description, the questions, the podcast, this video, and you're also welcome to work with us. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to following up.